for not listening to your story even when we didn't know what to say or how to feel, for failing you time after time after time after time again. Please forgive us, because you are enough, and you are worth it, and your voice is valuable, and you do matter, and you fit, and you belong, and God loves you, and we love you too. Please, please forgive us.
Dear Black American women, thank you. Thank you so much for just always showing up and just being at the forefront of what's right and for change and for justice and just always being there for others.
Black women have spent years and decades and lives and centuries trying to educate us, trying to fight for us, the collective us, and we have not been listening to them. As a white woman, if I am ever caught speaking over Black women, I hope you will call me out and call me out swiftly. However, I think that there is a difference between speaking over Black women versus expecting Black women to continue to do the labor of educating us when they have been saying the same thing for decades and we haven't been listening.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching my videos from. Welcome back to my YouTube space. Thank you so much for being here, liking, subscribing, and sharing. And for all those who are sending super thanks, thank you so much for your support. In today's video, we are diving into powerful and sensitive topic, something deep. The growing number of white women publicly asking forgiveness from Black women, it's increasing, and they're asking forgiveness for not listening, for not supporting, not caring until it was convenience. And this isn't about guilt tripping. This is about accountability, healing, and the truth. White women are finally acknowledging the ways they have ignored the voices, struggles, and wisdom of Black women. Now, let's be honest here. Black women have been talking the truth. They have been sounding alarms. When we say sounding alarms, they have been sounding alarms on racism, healthcare, and equality. You name it. You know all of these issues. But the question is, why is it just now white women are saying that, I'm sorry, I should have listened, I will stand with Black women, I will do this, I will do this? Why now? Is it because now they are regretting? Is it because the issues that Black women have been complaining about, it is touching them? And not about Black women only, Black people. Because when you talk about inequality, when you talk about health disparities, when you talk about education, it is touching everyone. And Black people have been out here sounding alarm on it. Now, like right now, the white America is crying. The white America is regretting. And we say they are fearful. You know? So is it, or is this a silent shift? Or it's just another wave of white feminism rebranding itself? Because we need to, when you hear things like this, or when you watch things like this, like a number of people are not so much believing in white America. And that's why we always question the moves of white America. When they touch you, you'll be like, okay. When they bless you, you'll be like, are you blessing me for real, or are you cursing me? When they come in your country, you'll be like, okay, what are they coming to do? So we need to question this. That's the video we're going to do. So before we dig deep into that, let's watch these clips of white women, and then we'll come back here and talk about it.
What I won't do is pretend that I understand your pain, Black women. What I won't do is pretend that I've been through that pain. What I won't do is pretend that it's not real. But what I will do is constantly stand up for you and constantly raise my daughter, which is a black queen, to know what this world is capable of and to know how to do better. So, like I said, if I disrespected anybody by me wearing braids, that's never my intention. Yes, I do know that your ancestors wore braids to hide dried rice and seeds to be able to feed their children during slavery. Yes, I do know that African culture also wore different braids to identify what clans they belong to. I know about the black culture. I grew up in it. I come from a black foster home. This is all I know. Don't judge me either.
Black women have spent years and decades and lives and centuries trying to educate us, trying to fight for us, the collective us, and we have not been listening to them. As a white woman, if I am ever caught speaking over black women, I hope you will call me out and call me out swiftly. However, I think that there is a difference between speaking over black women versus expecting black women to continue to do the labor of educating us when they have been saying the same thing for decades and we haven't been listening. It is time for us to stop relying on their labor and to bring the conversation back home, to start having it amongst ourselves, to start having it within our community, and to start having it within ourselves. Because if we pay attention to what black women have been saying, then we would recognize that blue bracelets are the same as we understand the assignment. They're the same as putting a black square on Instagram. If we've been listening to black women, then we don't need them to step in and tell us that we're doing the same damn thing. And again, we should never speak over black women on black issues. But as white women, we need to be talking about white issues. And racism is a white issue. It is a white thing. We are the ones doing it. We are the ones perpetuating it. We need to start having these conversations in ways that aren't just shame circles that feel a lot like an AA meeting. We need to just be talking about it woman to woman, talking about it frankly, talking about it without immediately putting up walls of defense. Racism is a white issue. We cannot rely solely on black women and black educators to solve the issue of race. In fact, we can't rely on them at all because they're not the issue. We are. So we need to start relying on ourselves. We need to start taking the burden off of them to educate us and look at all of the educating that they've already done and start listening to it, start talking amongst each other about it. Because if we constantly wait for them to educate us and then we don't listen when they do, we're not moving anywhere. We're not helping anyone. We're not being the solidarity that we think we are. In the same way that we cannot solve issues of sexism and sexual assault until men start having conversations and holding each other accountable for the actions that they are doing, we cannot make any difference until we start holding each other accountable and calling others out before black women have to get involved and call us out, right? A man does not have to wait for a woman to say, hey, that was a rape joke, that's inappropriate, for a man to step in and call it out. We understand that. So why do we think that the same is not true amongst ourselves when we're talking about race and how we inflict racism on black?
Dear Black American women, thank you. Thank you so much for just always showing up. Always showing up and just being at the forefront of what's right and for change and for justice and just always being there for others. People can say whatever they want. People can get mad and upset. The fact that you all are tired, that you don't want to try anymore, that you just are done. Especially when it comes to Gaza and pro-Palestinians. You tried helping when you could, when you were able to, but it wasn't good enough. It was performative. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And finally, when it was time that you needed others to show up for you and for themselves too, actually, in the long run, they didn't show up. No one showed up. And now that the elections are over, people are coming to you, expecting for comfort, expecting to, what are we going to do? Or, oh, well, like, let's keep going, fighting other rights and everything, other things that are going on in the world. You're done. You're tired. You're exhausted. It just wasn't good enough. No matter what you did, was never good enough. And even when you have the most qualified, overqualified candidate who expressed humanity and love throughout her very short campaign, mind you. She only had 3 months to do this all. Always try to follow justice, speak for the voiceless, and yet always had to be held responsible at a higher standard due to the doings of men. Mind you, Harris is a vice president. She doesn't come up with policies. She just has to uphold them. She is a vice president. But anyways, she gave it her all. You gave it your all. You showed up in numbers at the voting poll. Wasn't enough. Wasn't enough to have her win, because some people chose to be undecided still, not vote at all, vote for Trump out of spite, vote for things Trump is better by all. They think that he was better. Whatever their decision is, this is the outcome. This is the result that they need to live with. You're all done here. You don't need to fight for us anymore. You're tired. You need to fight for yourselves and for your peace of mind and for your own well-being. You're done. I get it. You have every right to be. You have every right to be done. You need your rest because you need to refill your own cup. You need to save yourself because no one's going to save you. Well, I'm tired for watching you all just bear that burden every time and just rest. Let us take it on. Let me and hopefully any other Asian Americans, since I look like, I'm Asian American, born here and raised, but let our sisters rest. It is time for the rest of us to carry that torch and let her rest. Let them rest. Let Black Americans rest. They're tired. They're done. Especially Black American women. Enough. Let them rest. Say hate all you want, this video all you want, to anyone who hates this video. I don't care. No fucks to give. No fucks to give. Say what you want to say. But everyone deserves to preserve their own mental well-being. Because how can you possibly help others when you yourself is being oppressed or being forgotten or not being helped at all when you need help? And Black American women, Black Americans especially, know the feeling of being oppressed. Their entire history, American history, has been ingrained in slavery since being taken over here against their will. And they made use of themselves, and they've been battling discrimination and segregation, everything, and racism till this very day in the 21st century, year 2024. So if they say they're tired, they're tired. Let them rest. Let them be. Let them do whatever they want. They don't want to fight anymore. I don't blame them. I don't blame. What do you expect? What did we all expect? It is what it is. But I'm going to do my best to just maintain strength, but also take care of myself. Everyone take care of yourself. All this doom scrolling and everything. We, at the end of the day, have to love ourselves, love one another, but most importantly, love ourselves and take care of us. Because all this fighting, all this bickering amongst each other, it's not helping anybody. But thank you, especially to Black American women. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we, whole as America, have let you down. Once again. Rest today, and I will continue to fight for love and justice and fairness for all, for everyone, for the goodness of all. I'll fight to continue to live another day. Thank you.
Black women, this is not a reflection of you. You are strong, brilliant, beautiful, soft, feminine, encouraging, vivacious, resilient, fearless, bold. You are everything and more to this country, whether they want to give you your flowers or not. Moving forward, because we always have to move forward. We always have to get ourselves together and keep pushing forward. You do not have to stand up for anybody you don't want to stand up for. You do not have to protest. You do not have to donate. You do not have to govern. You do not have to repost. You do not have to share. You do not have to make content based around anything other than yourself. It is time to wrap up these silk presses and our beautiful silk bonnets and protect ourselves. Move accordingly. Self-govern, because those microaggressions are about to get real macro, and we're going to need all the strength to show up at work, to show up at the grocery store, to show up at our kids' games, to show up at family functions, to show up at friends' functions. We need everything we got. Nobody else is deserving of it at this point. They have showed us time and time again that we do not matter, that our voices do not matter to them, that their own privilege or perceived privilege is higher than their actual position in society, is worth more than what they are actually receiving. What else can we do aside from worry about ourselves? And to the Black community as a whole, we gotta stop this red pill bullshit and come together. Who should pay? Who shouldn't pay? I mean, I've played into it as well. But at the end of the day, what are we fucking doing? That's all I know.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. I am the wife of Pastor Les Robinson. Quickly, we've seen America rally behind court cases through the years over intellectual property and real property, oftentimes resulting in millions of dollars in restitution. We rally behind it without the blink of an eye because it's something that has been stolen, and restitution should be made. We cannot forget or ignore the fact that we stole people from their native land. We stripped them from their families, from their culture, and from their birthright. Yet white America has turned a blind eye to this and say they should get over it, or it's been so long and it doesn't affect the African Americans today because it happened so long ago. On behalf of myself, my family, and my ancestors, I want to publicly apologize to the African American community for our ignorance, our arrogance, our insensitivity to your cause, and for any part we may have had in the atrocities done to your people. I stand here today humbly to show my love and support. Whether enslaved or freed, we know that many African Americans have had inventions they didn't get credit for and therefore earned no revenue. Land was stolen from many, as in my husband's case. My husband has the deeds to these properties that state this land belongs to my descendants forever and ever. There should be no question of what should be done. His land has been stolen, his generational wealth stolen, the schooling opportunities he should have had stolen, his opportunity to grow up in a safe environment where his family could afford housing stolen. He was forced into poverty, running to and from school, hoping to avoid getting into a fight or even getting shot and killed. This wasn't the legacy his grandfather left him. His rightful inheritance was stripped from him. Where is his restitution? There is no record of the properties ever being sold. If this were a claim about a white man's property being stolen, I'm sure the court case would have been resolved by now.
Welcome back. Now, let's rewind. Let's rewind back. White feminism has a long history of sidelining Black women. And from the suffrage movement in 1800s, where Black women were told to march at the back, to the second wave feminism of the 60s and 70s, where race was treated as a distraction from gender equality. And the pattern is clear. So even in today's inclusivity, movements or In today's inclusivity movements, many black women still say they feel erased. Many black women still feel the pinch. Like the routine is the same. The pattern is the same since way back 1800s and now. So white women have not been listening because of some reasons. White people have not been listening to the alarm of black people because of some reasons. Now, listening to black people or listening to black women means being uncomfortable. It means hearing about the pain they contributed. It means even if you didn't contributed, it means giving up your space. It means giving up your privilege. And that's why a lot of white people do not listen, or they don't listen to black alarms. Because when you listen to inequalities, for example, let me give one example. When you listen to job inequalities, that means you are going to address this. And when you are going to address this as a white person, you are going to give up this privilege. Because job inequalities gives white people privilege. Education inequalities give white people privilege. So when you are talking about this, it means one thing. You're gonna change. You sympathize with black people. You are going to change. You are going to give back, equal wage, black and white. You are going to give back equal positions to black and white. You are going to relinquish your white privilege. You are going, to give space, to give attention to the black people. But that is so hard. It is so hard to happen. And that's why white people or white women were not listening to black people. And for many white women, their identity clashed with the idea that they too could be oppressors. You understand what I'm trying to say. So this is so hard. And I'm so happy right now. I'm seeing a number of white women who are acknowledging the fact that they are part of the pain happening to black people. There's a video I did where there's a white lady who confesses that, saying that they have contributed to black men being arrested. They have contributed to the pains of black people. They have contributed to a number of things that black people are forcing. Now, in the last few years, for example, especially since the 2020 uprising, we have seen a shift. And this shift is what we're talking about. Is it real? Is it real? Because white women posting Black Lives Matters, buying books by black authors, and yes, even publicly apologizing, some are real and some are rehearsed. When I say some are rehearsed, is to create this environment that we are with you. Creating this environment that we are speaking for you. Creating this environment that we are standing for you. You need to get your rights. But deep down, you cannot give your privilege. Because when you are standing with me, that means you are reducing your whiteness or your white privilege. So, like these white people or white women coming outside and talking about things that are happening to black people, standing with us, talking about us, some are real. And thank you so much for all those black people or all those white people who come out with the real pure heart to say that this happened, we are sorry, we didn't listen, and now it's affecting us, and we are sorry for that. But let's be clear. Saying I'm sorry doesn't erase the harm. Saying I'm sorry doesn't add up to something. Forgiveness is earned and it's not owned. You get me? So true allyship means consistent action, not just public statements when it is trending. For example, the videos I've just played you, it may matter if actions are there. It's not just about the voices that you are speaking on social media so that black people can see that you are an ally. That's not being an ally. Being an ally is for you to have these actions. For me, as a black person going to the work places and you don't discriminate me. For me, working with white people and they don't discriminate me. No racism words towards me. That are the actions, having these housing policies equal, to allow white people to own, black people to own property, to allow black people to take black students or black kids to quality schools, or funding black people's schools in the black communities, or funding black hospitals in the black communities. That is the true action. That is the true allyship, consistent in action. So, black women, we may ask, what do black women want? First, black women or black people, they want to be heard. Not just when it is fashionable, but always to be heard always, Number 2, to be trusted. We know our experiences as black people. You know black people experiences. And we don't need our pain questioned or validated. We need to be trusted, because some will listen at your pain and it'll be like, okay, because you have not gone through that. You have not wear the shoe of this black person. You don't feel that. You don't know what's happening, So to be trusted. Number 3, to be protected. But when you talk about to be protected, it's not this about what Trump said, because Trump said he's going to protect black people, and that was just a bait to unleash martial law to black people. When we say black people or black women need to be protected, not just in words but in action, whether in the workplace or in hospitals. Protection means that this black person or black lady can be at workplace and receive equal treatment as the white people. In social places, black people have to receive equal treatment. Dealing with the police, dealing with the law justices, black people need to receive equal treatment. So as we know very well, black people can forgive. I see some people saying, oh, black people cannot forgive, black women cannot forgive because they have gone through a lot, so that will not do anything. Yes, black people can forgive, but it depends on some things. One of the things is accountability is not just saying sorry. Let's know that accountability is not just saying sorry. It's about changing behavior, calling out racism, advocating for black women in the rooms or black people's life matters, So, and letting go of the need to be the center of attention, because that matters. White people, white women want to be the center of attention. And that means that some black people somewhere will have to go it rough. So forgiveness is possible, but don't rush it. And don't expect a thank you for doing what you should have been done for decades ago. If you talk about black people, if you stand with black people right now, if you support Black Lives Matters, if you support them in the workplace, on education or hospitals or healthcare system, don't expect thank you from black people, because this is what you should have been done for decades ago. So, where we go from here? If you are a white woman watching this, start with this question. Question yourself. When was the last time you amplified a black woman's voice without adding your own spin? When was the last time? Are you centering black women only when it benefits your image? I'm saying that because right now when Trump is in power, he's putting policies that is affecting the typical white people or poor white people or middle class white people. And these are the things that was affecting black people only. So do you ask for forgiveness because it's affecting you, because it matters to you, or you are asking it because you need to do it? Because when we talk about economic crisis, black communities have gone through this a lot of time. Black communities or black village or black neighborhood have been going through this. Economy has been hard to them, and they have been suffering, and they have been crying. So right now, economy is high to everyone. So are you asking for forgiveness from black people because you are now realizing it, or it's something from the heart? Because if it's just you are realizing it, that means when things come back to better, when things come back to normal, you will go back to where you started from. So you need to be truthful on it. So, and if you're a black woman watching this video, just a reminder that your voice matters. If you're a black person watching this video, your voice matters. Even if it's ignored, even if it's erased, it matters a lot. So for some of us are listening, some of us are building with you. Some of African people, I see people questioning why they are seeing most Africans talking about the black people in America. It's because now we are realizing, and by realizing, you may realize that the people or the content creators talking about black Americans more so are the Gen Zs, are the youths. And we did not, our millennials, our people did not get this opportunity to hear your story, to listen of what you are going through, to know the pain you have been going through. And we have online, we have all these studies, and we know the pain that you are going through. And we as Gen Zs, we love the unity. We love the Pan-Africanism thing. So we need to unite with you. So for us talking about this, our other Gen Zs who are not content creators listens to this, and they support this, and they are yapping or talking about the oneness or the unity of black people. So we have put ourselves in your shoes, you know. So the video was about white women asking forgiveness, begging forgiveness from black people or black women, and black or white people in general too. I've seen various, popular videos going on around the social media asking for forgiveness, and that's what needs to be done. Thank you for all those white people who are acknowledging from the heart, not just because of the trend. Thank you for all those white people who are speaking out to black people, who are standing with black people, who are supporting black people. Some people or some white folks are just supporting black people because when election came and black people were supporting the other party, they failed, and this white America voted for Trump, and now Trump is causing chaos to America. So they are like, okay, let's go and support this. Let's pretend like we supported them. But it's not about what's going on to black people. It's about what's going on to all of us, because the voice of black person speaks to on the atrocities going on, or the atrocities that can face anyone here in America. It can face Latino, it can face white America, it can face Asian. So it's not just about black people or black women. So when it's time to listen, let's listen and let's do what needs to be done. Let's stand with the black folks. Let's stand with the humanity. Until next episode, peace out.